Stripe is the go-to choice for AI companies, from early-stage startups to scaled enterprises. 78% of the leading AI companies use Stripe to go to market quickly and scale globally. That includes pioneers like NVIDIA, OpenAI, and Perplexity. Stripe has developed cutting-edge tools to improve everything from fraud detection to checkout optimization. Whether you're aiming for incremental gains or planning for enterprise transformation, see how Stripe can help at stripe.com.
With McValue at McDonald's, you don't just get deals on the drinks. You get deals on McDonald's drinks. So when you're breaking a sweat, embrace the chill without breaking the bank. And when your crew is running on empty, keep your wallet full while refreshing the squad.
Ace the vibe check with drinks like lemonade, frozen Fanta Blue Raspberry, or any size drink for just $1.49. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
When a cold has you down, it's the little comforts that lift you up. A warm blanket, a cup of tea, and a tissue that actually feels good on your skin. Infused with aloe, Kleenex Cooling Plus Aloe provides a hint of cooling freshness to help your skin feel restored. So whether your skin is feeling dry, chafed, or irritated, you're only one wipe away from helping it feel relieved. The next time you have a cold, get a hint of instant cooling relief with new Kleenex Cooling Plus Aloe. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
Hey y'all, life's journey is filled with change, growth, and exciting new chapters. Whether you're welcoming a new family member, stepping into a new city, or chasing after your biggest dreams, you need a ride that's built with more space for the grand challenges ahead. The Toyota Grand Highlander is made for those who embrace every twist and turn. With advanced safety features, innovative tech, and a bold, sophisticated design, it's the SUV that adapts with you with room to spare. This spacious beauty seats up to 8, gives you up to 97.5 cubic feet of cargo space, and has a diverse engine lineup, available in gas or hybrid options, including the powerful 362 horsepower Hybrid Max. Plus, available all-wheel drive means you'll have confidence no matter where life takes you. Ready to take on your dreams? The Grand Highlander is more than a vehicle. It's your partner in embracing all life throws at you. From daily routines to unexpected adventures, it's up for every grand challenge. Learn more at toyota.com/Grand Highlander. Toyota, let's go places.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Did you know that Game Pass or Pass is brought to you for free because of Spotify for podcasters? It's a totally free platform, and you can make a podcast today for free. Spotify for podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else that podcasts are heard. And if you're thinking about taking your podcast to the next level with a video podcast, Spotify can help you too. With Spotify for podcasters, you can also earn money in a variety of ways that includes ads and podcast subscriptions. So what are you waiting for? Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcast to get started right now.
It is the end of the year. That means it is time.
Let go.
For our end of the year episode of Game Pass or Pass. It is episode 17.
Can you name the group?
I don't know.
End of the road? I mean, Boys to Men guys. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
welcome to the '90s edition.
I wish.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah. As I'm wearing a Doug from Nickelodeon hoodie.
You're dressed for the occasion.
The Beats Killer Tofu World Tour '95.
Oh, God dang, that's a good. That's a legitimately good song.
This is a legitimately great hoodie. Like
also banging on a trash can.
Banging on a street light. Don't watch the Disney version. It's terrible. It's so bad.
It's Disney version?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I legitimately gave it a shot because it's on Disney Plus, right?
Wait, is it the same episodes just cut differently, or is it
no? So after the first 4 seasons, it went to Disney, and Disney doing their Disney thing, like they changed things up, and they gave Doug like an extra strand of hair so they could trademark it. They made Roger Klotz rich. Doug had Doug's voice changed. He hit puberty, so that's how they because they changed the voice actor, but that's how they wrote it off, kind of thing. But honestly, the biggest problem is that the episodes are, because on Nickelodeon they were formatted to 2 smaller 15-minute or like 11-minute or whatever stories, but in the Disney version it's just one long story. And this is a children's show, and there's just not enough good writing to sustain those 23 minutes or whatever. It's legitimately just not as good. And I gave it a shot because I was like, maybe my 11-year-old brain was playing tricks on me, but no, I can't get through it. So
I mean, before we go all the way off track, one more question about Doug.
Also they broke up the Beats.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't. Okay, that hit me harder than it should have. Honestly, I should not have taken that so hard. is a figurative group. Is Skeeter still purple?
Oh, I don't. Wait, he wasn't purple, was he?
Skeeter was basically purple.
No, he was not. Was he?
Wasn't Skeeter purple?
He was blue. Yeah, he was blue.
Okay. Was he? Yeah. Is he still deep violet?
Because BB's purple.
So. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, but I think they changed the like color tone of him in. So like Patty Mayonnaise got like darker. And I think Skeeter got a little darker too, or maybe it was lighter. It was one.
He can't get darker than that.
So I think it might have been lighter. It's more like a much lighter blue versus the like darker blue of But anyways, this is not the Doug podcast. But this is Game Pass or Pass. It's our end of the year episode, which means we're going to give our top 3 games of the. We're going to give the top 3 games that we played of Game Pass this year, and then we're going to pick our Game Pass game of the year. Before that, though, we're going to talk a little bit about Game Pass as a service, since we have started this journey. So we didn't start at the beginning of the year. Our first episode was in June, so we've only had about half a year, but what we think about the service, and with Xbox Series X being announced, what we think about the future of the service, and then we're going to list the games, and we're going to pick our game of the Game Pass year. So this whole thing was actually kind of my idea. So I'm curious what Basher thinks about Game Pass.
Take all the credit. That's fine.
More like I was an advocate of Game Pass, and I was like, bro, you need Game Pass, and you were like, well, I don't know, man. And I was like, nah, dude, Game Pass. So has the investment paid off for you?
So as someone who does not love the Microsoft ecosystem, I would say just by numbers alone, it's worth the investment. Just in terms of the amounts of playtime you get, but the amount of games you get with how much you pay for it a month, rather. Just on that terms alone, it kind of pays for itself. However, I'm still a big fan of quality over quantity. So although Game Pass has a literal ton of stuff to offer, as we've seen just throughout our playthroughs and reviews of these games, I can't even say most of them, if you go in there blind, are that great to play. So my overall feeling so far with Game Pass is a positive one. However, I still don't see it as the killer app of, well, if you got Game Pass, you're good. Period. It's like, well, it depends what you're looking for, what you're into. Still, as with any game system or game itself.
I think I somewhat agree. I think that Game Pass will. I think it can be the killer app, and I don't. Because the way I see it, as if you were someone like us who plays probably way too many video games on all platforms, we basically, each of us have every major platform. I think it makes sense because you were probably going to get Gears 5 anyway. You were probably going to get Forza Horizon 4 anyway, kind of thing. So when you combine that, and where Game Pass has surprised me the most is just there's so many games that I wanted to play, but I just didn't get around to, or it's a game like, I'll wait for a sale kind of thing. There, like, the amount of games that I've played that I didn't think I would enjoy, that I ended up dumping more time than anyone should have into some of them, it kind of blows my mind. But I think where Microsoft has done work that I didn't like, when they announced that they were bringing all the first party games to the service, I sort of expected the day one stuff that wasn't first party to slow down, but that hasn't happened. It's kind of gone the other way, and they've had a lot of day one stuff like Void Bastards, which we haven't played on this show, but that came out day one. They had The Outer Worlds, which came out day one. The Outer Wilds came out day one. So there's a lot of games that they sort of drop in there randomly that are day one. Afterparty was one that I was going to buy that game because I genuinely enjoyed Oxenfree, but because of Game Pass, it just rolled into my service kind of thing. So that stuff surprises me that they're still doing that. Maybe that will slow down as they have now purchased 7 studios, and they're working on content from all of those studios. Maybe that'll slow down. Maybe it won't. It just depends on the logistics of it, which we still don't quite know. The only developer that's really talked about it is the developer of Oxenfree and Afterparty, and they basically said because of Game Pass, Oxenfree had a second life, a second win kind of thing. So it'd be interesting to see if other studios and other things claim that. But that was a long-winded way to say that I think if you have all the systems, I think it still makes sense to have it. But if you don't have all the systems and maybe you're only a casual gamer, I think I can confidently at this point say, like, just if you have an Xbox or you already have a PS4 and you're looking at Xbox, I'd say get it and get Game Pass, like, because that's all you really need.
That's kind of where I'm at as well. I feel like I'm at a place where if you get an Xbox, get Game Pass. However, if you are on a fence about it or you don't like Xbox, whatever reason it is for you, I'm still on the side of, well, Game Pass isn't really going. I don't think Game Pass may really put you on the other side of the fence. It may not. But
yeah, I guess it depends what your holdup is about Microsoft for whatever it is. Because like if you're hoping to get Game Pass and all of a sudden like you're going to have Sony level, blockbusters like Spider-Man, Death Stranding, The Last of Us 2, God of War, like Microsoft just doesn't have that. They don't have those 10 million sellers anymore. I think the closest one would probably be Gears 5. Like that, to me, that's like the most cinematic game that they have. So if you're looking for that, you're not going to find it yet. Will that happen in the future? Hopefully that's the goal, right? But if you're just looking to play games in general, like I put I don't even want to admit how much time I put into Lonely Mountains Downhill. I put like 11 hours in that game. I never would have thought that. I played so much Moonlighter. Like if you're just looking for stuff to play, you can't go wrong. Like you're going to find something.
And I want to add in a perspective from a PC player primarily. It does get frustrating how it's not like there's a ton of them that do. I haven't looked at the numbers yet. We haven't done a whole year of this yet, but it's been just enough where I have Game Pass Ultimate and they're not on both, and the game is not on both consoles and PC. It's been just enough to where I'm just like, as a PC player primarily, I'm just like, this is annoying. This is really annoying. And I can't fault Microsoft for that. There's clearly probably a licensee issue there, but I mean,
yeah, and some of the stuff just isn't on PC,
right?
And vice versa. But the caveat with that is, it's not really a caveat, but the reason is that because all of the games that are on Game Pass, they have to be part of Microsoft's store. Like it can't be a Steam game, obviously. So that's where it gets tricky on the PC side. But yeah. But also, this is something that someone reminded me the other day. It's actually cheaper on PC too. It's only $5 versus $10, which I think is probably that exact reason to why it's cheaper, is because it just doesn't have as many games, and some of them aren't as what's what I'm looking for.
And it's at $5 is perfect throwaway money a month, whereas enough people get it. Even it's like having a gym membership. Like the gym doesn't care if you show up or not.
Right.
Like so if they get a bunch of people coming in $5 a month, they're happy with it. It doesn't matter if you play the one Messenger game and you never play anything else on it again. But again, if you're getting Game Pass, I really think you should be part of the Microsoft family. If you're just PC, I don't think it's the best service to have. Put it that way.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. At least right now, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Microsoft's PC support is going forward. I will say that there's been the big one is Halo. Like Halo has for a long time not been on PC. Like the original game did come to PC eventually, but it wasn't made by Microsoft. It was made by Bungie. It was made by Gearbox. Halo 2 did come to PC. It came later, and it wasn't the best port. But then after that, it was basically gone, except for eventually Halo Wars 2 came out. But they just launched Master Chief Collection, and we have played a little bit of Reach so far. And what I can say is that it runs well. Whereas, when they finally brought the Forza franchise, Forza Horizon 3 on PC was a mess when it first started. Like it was just a mess of depending on what CPU you had compared with what GPU, like some people had amazing results and other people's, like me, my CPU was just getting blasted at all times. So the frame rate was just constantly like there's a lot of that. But then you have the Gears side where Gears 4 and 5 have been absolutely phenomenal on PC.
Gears 5 is butter. Like that's
yeah,
smooth as
like,
heck.
and it's stupid how smooth it is. So it's like, like that's where I'm going to be interested to see going forward. I think Infinite is going to be the big one. How is Infinite going to run on Xbox as well? Because Infinite's coming to Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. So there's a lot of different SKUs. You've got regular Xbox, Xbox One X, PC, and Xbox Series X. So there's a lot going on there. But I guess to kind of pivot into the future. So I don't think there's any chance either one of us, we're still going to keep doing the show because we still play quite a few games on Game Pass. But I think that going forward,
it can only get better, I think.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I does it though? So that's kind of where my question is that, so next month in January, they're adding Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. These are all the remakes, 13, 1, 2, and 3, and 15 to the service. And it's just like, that's crazy. But at the same time, it's like, is that going to last? Like, they can't just keep doing these crazy content dumps. Like they just did Witcher 3, Pillars of Eternity, and something else I can't even remember now. Like those are big games. Like you can make the argument that The Witcher 3 and Pillars of Eternity are the best RPGs of this decade. Like, and then you're going to be dropping basically half of the Final Fantasy franchise, and it's like eventually they can't keep doing that, right? Like the whole reason that they're buying first party studios is they're trying the Netflix thing of well, if we make our own content, then the hit is a lot less kind of thing.
Right. Then friends can leave and we can still just sell you and other shows like that. Right. But like and again, like I mean, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but speaking just for myself, like I'm not very nostalgic when it comes to video games, in the sense that if I've played it already, if I've never played it before, I'm definitely gonna, and I hear it's great, I'm gonna go back and play it. That's pretty much how I played most of the Final Fantasies that came out on Super Nintendo and whatever. And a lot of those RPGs like Chrono Trigger, I missed them when they first came out. Played them again when I got a little bit older. I just don't subscribe to the theory of we're going to dump just straight content onto this platform and then boast these numbers. And it's like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, like these are all classic RPGs and we all love them, but however, we've also already played them.
Right.
And it's like, just to say you have it doesn't really mean anything to me. Like, so like, I would like for them to do more Witcher 3 stuff, but like you said, like how sustainable is that? Because if you just give me more Final Fantasies, more Assassin's Creeds, for example, it's like we've played these games already. Like, and then on the 20th iteration, like this is not a real. Your number of having 1,000 games is not a selling point to me at that point.
Right, and at some point that line has to sort of what's what I'm looking for, cross. Like there's got to be a point to where, yes, you've got 200 games, but how many do I want to play, or how many have I already played? That's where it gets interesting. But yeah, the Final Fantasy thing is just interesting to me because it's like, why did you decide to dump all those at the same time? Like, that's literally like 500 to 600 hours of content, maybe more.
Yeah, that's every other month you drop a new Final Fantasy.
Right, but and then like the only thing I think of is like there's very much, at least in the 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 era, of everyone has their favorite of those, and that's the one that people go back and play. Like some people really love 10, but they don't go back and play 7, 8, 9. I'm the type that I'll play 8 or 9. I really like those games, but I won't touch 7 or 10 kind of thing. So that's the only thing I can think of is that maybe
you don't blitzball.
No, I don't blitzball.
What is wrong with you?
So, like, I'm looking forward because I was actually thinking about buying that 8 remaster because I have the 9 remaster on PlayStation, and I'm a huge fan of like you can press the stick to speed it up 3 times, 3x basically. And I was like, yeah, like I wanted to play 8 again recently, and they had that remaster, but then they announced that kind of thing. So to me, I was like, it was strange that they announced all of them because I was like, well, why don't you just like drop 7? And then maybe that would have got people to be like, oh, I want to go play 8 now kind of thing, and then go buy it. But I don't know. Again, so we don't know the logistics of the service and how much these people are making and et cetera, et cetera. So I think time will tell how that goes. But I think the big one is that we're going to have Game Pass at the launch of Xbox Series X. I can tell you right now, I will be buying one along with the PlayStation 5. So it's interesting to me that I think Halo Infinite could be like the big test for Game Pass, because when you walk into a store this upcoming November and you see, because both the PlayStation 5,
they have to sell it right. All they gotta do, all they have to do is stay on the box. Halo Infinite free with Game Pass.
Right, and with because these consoles are most likely, this is a lot of speculation, but I think it's safe to say they're going to be targeting the $500 range. And I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he's mainly an Xbox guy. He has someone he knows has a PlayStation, so he gets some of the games through there and he plays them there. But we were talking about prices and stuff like that, and I was like, what's interesting is that I am definitely a Microsoft guy. Like I like Halo, I like Forza, and I like Gears. Like those are the franchises that I really like. But I understand that people they want something else. But as an Xbox fan, I can go in and drop $500 on the console, and that's it. I'm going to get my Halo, I'm going to get my Forza, and I'm going to get my Gears. Like, that's a guarantee. Whereas on the PlayStation side, I have to go in, and whatever the launch title is, my suspicion is Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Like, okay, cool, I can go buy my PS5, but then I got to buy a game. And then maybe there's a second game I want. So instantly, the price of the PlayStation 5, even if these consoles are both $499, which is where I suspect they're going to be, the Xbox on paper can be significantly cheaper than the PlayStation 5 once you start adding in games and stuff like that. And the other thing is all your accessories and stuff work with the Xbox Series X as well. So my Elite controller and everything like that. So Microsoft does have a case to where they can the jumping on point for day one, depending on what their launch window is going to be. We already know Halo Infinite is going to be there, but Forza is going to be there too, most likely, at least within a couple, I'd guess a couple months of launch. The price instantly it makes it feel cheaper. Like Game Pass isn't free, but it feels cheaper than dropping $60 on a game kind of thing. So, but with them launching with a Halo, I don't think that's a mistake. I think they have been very meticulously planning it out, and Halo Infinite will at that point have 5 years in development. So this is a big thing for Microsoft. Like this is Phil Spencer trying to put Halo back as the king of shooters, because at one point Halo ruled the frickin' world when it came to console shooters.
I mean,
so,
that's after they themselves, in my opinion, helped kill Halo with so much Call of Duty pushing, especially for conferences.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it was to me, it was always strange how much they pushed Call of Duty over Halo.
Over Halo. I'm just like, this is your baby. Like, Call of Duty is a hired hitman. It's gonna go wherever it wants to go. But
right. So it's going to be interesting though, and I you can make the argument that the reason they've been purchasing these studios is specifically to bolster Game Pass, and you had the argument of quantity over quality, or vice versa. It's going to be interesting to see what some of these studios are doing. We know that not Sucker Punch, who makes Hellblade, Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory is doing Hellblade 2, and we know that obviously 343 is doing Halo. We know Playground is doing Fable. We know that Turn 10 is doing Forza. So it's like, but what about all these other studios? Are they making AAA games? Are they making smaller games kind of thing? So it's going to be interesting to see what those studios that they purchased are going to be doing kind of thing. Like Double Fine. I don't think Double Fine is making a $60 game. Like I don't.
Not so, at all. But I'm also cause I read a blurb on Spencer when someone asked him, like, how sustainable is this? And he gave what concerned me was he gave a very Netflix or a Movie Pass CEO type answer, where he's like, it's very
it's all about initialization and
right, and works off of both parties, and we're both very happy about the relationship. I'm just like, you completely dodged that question, because if it was a case of, oh, we make bank off this service,
we've got 10 million subscribers, like
you would have laid that out, but that's not the case. So it's like a matter of, like, it really feels like to me where it's like they're trying to bolster their numbers, and then slowly, like, they'll dump content on, but we have to remember, this is a digital service. We don't own any of these games, so as fast as they can dump like 8 Final Fantasy games in 1 month, they could also take those out the next month, or whenever they want. So it's like, I really do question the longevity of this type of service, and I can definitely see.
I think
it's good
a price increase is going to happen.
It has like either a price increase or a decrease in they're taking away things. They're taking away more third-party games. There's going to be way more first-party stuff on there. So,
and it's the time sensitivity part of it is interesting, because in recent I don't want to say news, but in recent decisions, Sony dropped the price of PlayStation Now. They dropped it from $20 to $10 a month, which there's no way that's a coincidence. Like, clearly they're looking at Game Pass and saying that people are good with this price point. And while they're not dropping day one, they did drop first party games on the service, like God of War, Uncharted 4, but they were very specific on when they're going to be there and when they're leaving. And that was interesting to me, because Microsoft never says that. Like, they're like, oh, this game's coming this day. And obviously the first party stuff won't disappear, but there's never a huge, I don't want to say huge, because they don't ever advertise the fact of
there's no news when the game's leaving at all.
So basically, like, they will tell you, like, there's actually a section on the Xbox. I don't think it's on PC. I could be wrong. But it says, like, games leaving soon kind of thing. And it'll tell you at, on 7/31, these games are leaving. But obviously they don't want to, push that fact. But it's going to be interesting to see when some of these games leave, because some of these games have been on here forever. And so, it definitely seems to be on a game by game basis. They are making deals with people. And that's probably the only way that they're able to make this happen, is that every game gets its own deal kind of thing, because, Rage 2 shouldn't cost as much as Pillars of Eternity. Like, even though it was a AAA game, Pillars of Eternity is a much better game. but I'm sure the development cycle of Rage 2 was more expensive kind of thing. So like there's so many factors that we just don't know. So it's hard to speculate, but I don't know. It's interesting that some developers, there hasn't really been any developer that came out and said Game Pass screwed me kind of thing. It's been the exact opposite. A bunch of developers have come out and said that it's fair. Like it's 100% fair.
Which leads me to believe that Microsoft is happy because it's Microsoft and they got money in the bank as opposed to like them like I feel like they're clearly taking a hit here. And
I don't know if it's clear they're taking a hit,
but
I
think it's a loss leader. Like I don't see them making, like, depending on the game, because I agree. I think it's a game by game basis. So if you get a game like The Witcher 3 or Pillars of Eternity up there, it's like CD Projekt Red is going to want their bread. Like this period, they're going to want their money. Like it's like this is us. We're huge. Like we're one of the better known studios. This is The Witcher 3. If we're giving our game to you for people to rent, basically, we're gonna want most of this chunk. Whereas if you look at a game like maybe The Messenger that we reviewed on here, I could see them kind of negotiating something a smaller cut. But I think overall, I don't think overall they're really banking in this, and that's what concerns me. Just in terms of longevity, because they're breaking even or close to it. It's not the best news for the consumer.
It's tough because where I think that this is a thing that Phil Spencer has talked about a little bit, but one statistic that he talks about a lot is that not only are people in Game Pass playing more games, they're buying more games. So to me, like that, because a lot of people forget, and I'm one of them included, that you get 10, like if the game is leaving Game Pass and you want to buy it, it's $10 or not $10, 10% off kind of thing. So I would be interested to see those numbers, which we probably never will, but I wonder if there's more people that are getting a month of Game Pass, finding a game that they really like, maybe like Witcher 3, and they cancel Game Pass, but they buy Witcher 3. So, in that sense, everyone wins because Microsoft gets their cut from the actual purchase. They got the Game Pass subscription, even though they canceled, and then CD Projekt Red gets their cut as well.
Right, but I don't. But like you said,
that sounds crazy to me.
The key thing you said there was we'll never see those numbers, and again, like not him. It's not a Spencer thing. It is a Microsoft thing where once they started losing, quote unquote, they stopped giving numbers out.
Right.
And therefore, like, he says one thing, and it's not that I don't trust this guy. It's just a matter of it's very corporate speak when he says it. I'm just like, I don't buy it, really.
Like, I fully believe, like, he's still a corporate entity. I don't think he's dishonest.
He's not dishonest. They are buying more games.
Right.
But how much more?
Right.
Like, it's like, I'm wondering. But that said, my own, like honestly, after about 6 months of doing this show, my biggest concern, honestly, is the sustainability and quality of the service.
Right.
Because other than that, like, there's small things here and there that can be done better, like more crossplay, not crossplay, but I guess that is the name of crossplay, more games on PC. But really, my thing is, I'm spending $15 a month on this. Well, yeah, $15 a month on this service, and then I don't own any of it. Games are coming and leaving at a whim because I don't know when they're leaving. I don't own any of it, and then it's like I'm investing in something. I need to kind of feel like, and then I have to feel at the end of the day that it's worth my money and time, and that I'm getting enough time out of it. So, like, this podcast definitely helps me play more games on the Game Pass service. But if you're the type of gamer who's very selective about their gaming, and you don't just jump into games here and there, like, and you're waiting for the next Gears, you're waiting for the next Halo, you're paying $15 a month for a title that drops every 2 months or 3 months, and it's like, or half a year maybe, and it's like, are you getting enough playtime for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I don't know. it's tough to say, but other companies, that's always been an argument of is sustainability, like for Netflix, going to be a thing? Are people going to, as the price keeps going up, are people going to stay subscribed kind of thing? And I will tell you, no, I don't. I do not subscribe to Netflix. The price got too high and there wasn't enough on there that I found worth my time. I wonder what
leaving too.
Yeah. And it wasn't even really that. It was, I mean, obviously TV and video games are very different things. So it might not be the best comparison. And I know people love to make that comparison. I'm one of them. But whereas with me, I feel like video games, there is a start and end point to them that I don't normally go back and play stuff again. There is certain things I will, but 95% of what I play, I do not play again. Whereas I think people will end up watching something again more than they're willing to play. So point is that something is going to have to break, whether it's a price increase, whether it's less third-party stuff coming in, something's going to change. But the question is that I don't want to say is it too late, but like, are the people that are already subscribed, is it going to be okay kind of thing? Like, is it going to be okay with them when they start making changes, whatever it is? I will say right now, I still think $20 a month, I would be on board, but anything more than that, I'm going to start raising an eyebrow kind of thing. Like
$20 is absolutely fine as long as this is your only service. If you also have PS Now, that's a big service. That's another hit. But if you also have Netflix, that's another hit. If you have Disney Plus, that's another hit. Right. So it's like all of these companies are trying to get you on the hook every month, and it's like you said. So at the end of the day, something's going to have to break. So $20 a month for this service doesn't even seem. It is good. The issue being, as someone like myself, like who my rent just went up, I'm like, I'm going to look at cutting services somewhere. Right. And it's like, where am I going to do that? And it's like, if it's Netflix, because I only watch, what is even on Netflix right now? That's leaving. I want to say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think tomorrow actually.
Yeah, so like, if I only watch The Office on Netflix and it's leaving, and it's like, all right, buy Netflix. Right. If you only buy Game Pass, if you only get Game Pass to play Microsoft exclusives, you may need to cut it. Right. So it's like, so my advice to anyone jumping into Game Pass, it's worth the entry fee. It's worth to stick with at least half a year. Just be mindful of how much you're playing, and is it worth, and if you're getting your playtime's worth.
Right. And where to me, I think it gets even more confusing is that if you don't have Ultimate, you don't get Xbox Live Gold, which I feel like Gold needs to disappear, right? Like
that, yeah. Like
it's not going to happen because
there are certain people that still pay for Gold, really.
Yeah, and that was one of those things to where I paid for it, but it got more and more just like preposterous as crossplay is becoming more of a thing, and I still much prefer gaming on a console just because people are like, oh, just hook your PC up to your PC up to your TV, and it's like, look, I know that's an argument and it's a decent one, but hooking up a PC
isn't
right. Like it works, but it's still not easy. Like I can't just press a button and it works. Like I got to find a mouse that works.
Plus your PC, you do everything else on there too. Like I can't watch Pornhub like on the big screen in the living room. It seems awkward.
So, but it totally threw me off. Gold seems less and less prevalent, and so if you don't have Gold, that's basically, if you're paying month to month, I think Gold is $7. So if, obviously if you buy it yearly, it's cheaper, blah, blah, blah. But for a lot of people that do month to month, if you're just doing, let's say Game Pass on console and you want Gold, you're looking at $17 a month. Whereas on PC, it's $5. Like, so that's the weird part to me, is that Gold is sort of there. People are still buying it. I don't understand why. At that point, it's like just get Game Pass Ultimate. Like you get both then.
Well,
like,
it shouldn't be a consumer decision though. It should be a corporate decision. Right, it should be Microsoft and Sony. Honestly, should roll that into PS Now. They should roll that into Game Pass Any Edition, and say pay this much a month, and then you get the service anyway. Like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, maybe that's the secret. Maybe, well then, I don't know. So the only thing I can see happening is I think Game Pass on PC, and unless I don't know, it's still technically in beta, so whatever. But $5 seems too cheap, right? So the only thing I can think of is that they throw that up to 10, and then they keep Game Pass Ultimate the same at 15, so you still get, a discount. It's just weird. Like, Xbox Gold is truly the weird part of the whole equation, where I don't know, like, that could be an easy PR move to just get rid of it and just say, look, we're getting rid of Gold, but we're going to say Game Pass is now $7.99 a month, whatever. Maybe they say it's $9.99 a month. That's the only way you can get it. Some people will probably be mad. Some people won't. I don't know. But as time goes on, I feel like Gold needs to slowly disappear and Game Pass needs to sort of take the place of Gold, because charging to play online is just getting more and more preposterous as crossplay is becoming a thing. It adds up, kind of thing. And consumers are smarter than they ever have been. There's still a lot of dumb consumers, but more and more consumers are smarter and they're looking for value. And that's exactly why they love Game Pass, is because they want value. So, but no, so I think we've talked enough about this, so we need to move on. But no, I think doing this, this podcast and sort of forcing ourselves to play a lot of different games and not just look at the service from a AAA standpoint, I think has been phenomenal for me personally, just because I would play indie games, but there's so many of them and the market is just crazy flooded that it's hard to know which ones to buy. And Game Pass has really taken that burden off of me, and I've saved money in the process. So
I second that.
Yeah, for that reason, I love it. But if you're looking strictly from a AAA standpoint, there's really good stuff on there. But if you're a hardcore gamer, it's hard to justify it for that reason, because you've probably already played Witcher 3. You've probably already played Doom. Like, there's a good chance you've played those. But I think Microsoft has done a very good job of catering the service to have both. I think that's extremely smart. But as they make these first-party purchases and as more and more stuff is coming out, indie-wise, day one, I think they've made a very good case to why even the hardcore gamer should have it, as well as the casual consumer. So I think it's only going to get better. And with Xbox Series X, I think it's going to be more interesting. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. That being said, it's time to talk about Game Pass games. And we're going to list off our games that we have played this year. And we're going to do a top 3 now. This is not, it's a little bit different. We're going a little maybe IGN game Giant Bomb style, to where we're going to pick the best game, but we're not going to rank them 1, 2, and 3. Or did we decide on 3 or 5? I don't remember.
I decided on 3.
3. All right, 3. Yeah. I think next year, hopefully we're still here, we'll do 5, just because there'll be way more games. So the nominees are Full Metal Furies, The Messenger, Halo Wars Definitive Edition, Halo Wars 2, Nightcall, Gears 5, Yoku's Island Express, Super Lucky's Tale, Operencia: The Stolen Sun, Bad North, Jotun Edition, The Outer Worlds, After Party, Apocalypsis, Harry at the End of the World, Minute, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Remnant from the Ashes. So right away, I think we can get rid of the games we did not recommend.
Super Lucky's Tale is out.
So yes, Super Lucky's Tale is out. Nightcall is out.
Yep.
Bad North is out.
Yeah, I liked it, but no, not high enough up there.
Apocalypsis is definitely out.
And wait, what?
Shadow of the Tomb Raider is definitely out. All right, so that leaves us with Remnant from the Ashes, Minute, After Party, The Outer Worlds.
Remnant's out. I'm taking Remnant out of that one. This next one out for me.
We did pass on that, didn't we?
Yeah.
That one is still in my head. That I don't know. I still
wait. No, we did pass on that. Yeah.
Yeah. From what I hear, though, the PC version is where it's at. The PC version has a lot less of the issues that we ran into. Especially me, the big one was the online lag. Whenever someone would pick up an item, it would pause for a quarter of a second. Apparently that's not on the PC, and that honestly would have changed my perspective
again. As someone who tends I don't like playing games with people all the time. So right. if I want to jump into a game by myself, I should feel comfortable doing that. This is not the Souls clone for that at all. Right. You get screwed left and right.
I think After Party can go. I liked that game, but I liked a lot of these games a lot more. I think
Minute can go.
Ooh, I don't know if I agree with that.
I think Minute can go.
We'll come back to that one. I think
Okay, I know which one's going to go.
I think Halo Wars the original can go.
Absolutely, you're right.
Okay.
That can go.
Yeah.
I know this is going to go, but I still think people should give it a shot. Not because the game is that great, but because the genre needs more life. Opera of the Soul and Sun is going to go, but people should play it.
I think that would be a solid number 4. Like, even though that I didn't love that game, I can see why people would and why that genre still needs more life, kind of thing. So, but I think that can go. So that leaves us with Halo Wars 2, Gears 5, Yoku's Island Express, The Messenger, Full Metal Furies, The Outer Worlds, Minute.
Okay, I'll let you hold on a minute and get rid of Full Metal Furies.
I can agree with that. I actually still really like that game.
I do too.
But I think that's a fault of ours. I think as that was the first game we played on this series, and we were kind of trying to find new stuff to play, so it ended up falling at the wayside, kind of thing. But no, yeah, I think there are better games on this list. All right, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna say that. Where'd it go? Which one was I looking at? I'm gonna say that Yoku's Island Express is a shoo-in for a top 3.
All right, you're going top to bottom now. Okay, I'll agree with that.
I don't think there's any way that game is not on this list.
I completely agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that is that is the most unique and what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it's just the most unique and experience that I did. Surprising experience that I just was not expecting whatsoever.
Yeah, I love that game from top to bottom. So that leaves us with other games that need to make the list: Minute, Outer Worlds, Gears 5, Halo Wars 2, The Messenger.
All right. It's getting tough, huh? This is going to get...
I think the Outer Worlds can go.
No, I disagree.
Oh, man,
disagree. Absolutely disagree with you on this one. No, I mean, before Halo Wars 2?
I think Halo Wars 2 is... man. I think what that game sets out to do, I think it's better than the Outer Worlds.
If they both had a checklist of things they wanted to do, they both did them well. However, I think Outer Worlds is the game basically every Fallout fan, every Bethesda fan has been waiting for like 10 years. Like, we've been waiting for this for a long time. We finally got it. I'm going to say I want to fight for that one over Halo Wars 2. I mean, Halo Wars 2 it's like Opera in the sense that it does. You should play it because the genre needs you to play it, but it's not the end all be all of that type of game. Like it does it well, especially on a console, but not well enough to be like, whoa, this is like StarCraft level greatness. Not that it has to be that great, but like just even of the year.
That's clearly going to be the big debate for those, because I think you're crazy. So I guess the question is, Gears 5, does that make the list?
You're going to have to sell Gears 5 for me, because as a guy,
I don't think it makes it.
Okay, we're probably on the same page there, because as a guy who likes Gears just okay, it did not do nearly enough in the Gears world to push it to a level of, whoa, this is Gears.
Yeah,
it was more like, oh yeah, this is Gears.
I really like Gears 5 a lot as a Gears fan, but I'm not playing it anymore. that says a lot as a Gears fan. And I think part of that is that there's been, when it comes to time, like Horde was the big thing. And I think Horde mode in Gears 5 is actually really, really good. But it's not good enough to the point to where I used to seek out people and be like, yo, we're playing Horde tonight, kind of thing. Maybe that's just a difference in my time. Maybe it's a difference in lifestyle, whatever it is. But for whatever reason, as much as I loved playing Horde with Chris, and I don't think you and I ever even played Horde.
We played it once, twice.
As much as I love the abilities and everything they have, and I think that if there is a time to go back to it, it's now, because they've just added new characters for Horde and stuff like that. I think Gears 5 is going to be a great game that we're going to fall into again, and we're going to be like, yeah, like this is still really solid, but this is not the...
I'll go a step further, because even the you can speak about the co-op. My brief time, the multiplayer,
I just don't care anymore.
It's not there. It's not there.
I don't care
like
anymore.
It doesn't have the legs it used to have. A buddy of mine, big Gears fan, he'll jump online and play every now and then, but even he's like, I don't like it. And I ask him why, because I already know I felt out of love with Gears. And I asked him why. He just kind of hums and haws and ends with it just doesn't excite me anymore at some level. It's just kind of like, it doesn't do enough. And it's just like,
like I agree
with that. He also says there's a lot of stuff on the unlockables end that he feels is a huge grind, and he feels like you're no longer playing it just to pop heads off. You're playing it to unlock things, and to do that takes so much time. And he's just kind of like, I'm just kind of over it. Like, it seems like work more than play. And I'm just like, and that makes sense.
As someone who literally played Gears 3 for probably like 1,000 hours, probably more actually, which is scary to think about. There is something about, I think about Halo 5, and we haven't got Halo 5 yet, but I played so much Halo 5. And that was because the multiplayer, while it felt different, it still felt like Halo. Whereas going from Gears 3 to Gears 5, it's still the same game. There's almost nothing new about it. Yeah, you can do grabs, and yeah, there's like things here and there, but it's still solid and fun, but I've got my fix of it. And as a Gears fan, like, I'm just not... I need something else other than... I need a new mode or something. Like,
and it's not like Call of Duty either. Because Call of Duty, people love to say it's the same game every year, but like there's enough tweaks here and there, and even some games are just brand new multiplayer wise. Going to Gears 5 and playing that online, I'm just like, oh, this hasn't changed at all, has it? Like,
no. And to speak on like the unlocking thing, like Gears 4 had a huge problem with that, and that's what killed Gears 4 for me was the they weren't even really microtransactions. It was the way that you unlock stuff. It was 100% the loot crate thing, and it's just like, this just isn't good. But even though Halo 5 had that, it was basically the rec packs. The gameplay was enough to me that I didn't care. Like, the rec packs became a bonus. Whereas in Gears 4, it's like the stuff that I want, because it's the same game, the stuff that I want are the skins and stuff like that, because I need something to change on my end to keep me interested. And Halo 5 had that in the gameplay, but Gears 4 and 5 don't have that in the gameplay. It's still the same game. So while stuff is definitely easier to unlock than Gears 4, it's still the same game. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I'm kind of over it. I think there's more to dive into with Horde mode, especially since it's more class-based now, but I just haven't had that pull yet to do it. And it's still on my hard drive, and every time it pops up, I'm like, man, we really need to play that again. But there's this other stuff that we're playing. But it's funny that you bring up Call of Duty, because Modern Warfare is that game for me now. Like, my buddy and I, we play Modern Warfare all the time, and it's specifically the weapon experience now, because now they've split up weapon and classics, or not class experience, character experience, whatever you want to call it. I get the fun in that game of leveling up the weapons, trying a new weapon and getting it to level 70 and then tweaking it and then doing the challenges and stuff like that. Whereas I just don't get anything like that from Gears 5.
Modern
I feel like
Warfare
I'm leveling
feels
up.
good. I don't care what anybody says. It feels good. Like, I don't play it often, but it feels good every time I pick it up.
Yeah. And Gears 5 looks incredible. That game looks absolutely stunning. And while I really enjoyed the story and I enjoyed the new things that they did, I don't know. There's just something about it that I look at these other games, and maybe it's just because it's the 5th one, technically the 6th one in the series, and there just wasn't enough new there for me. But I don't know. I think that's enough. Gears 5 doesn't make the list, which breaks my heart, but it is what it is, kind of thing.
So that leaves us with Minute.
Leaves us with Minute,
Outer
Worlds, Yoku's Island Express, Halo Wars 2, The Messenger. All right. What I will say is I would take Messenger over Minute.
Battle of the Indies, huh? Yeah. You'll take Messenger over Minute.
Yes.
See, all right, so let me think out loud since we're doing a podcast here. My thought process with these two is Minute is an indie game where I feel like literally anyone can pick it up, enjoy it, and understand it, and understand what it's doing, and understand why it is what it is. And although I'd rather play The Messenger is way more, are you 32 years or older? Did you play Ninja Gaiden? Like, there's a lot more gatekeeping with that title, I think, which will make me lead towards Minute. That's my thought process.
My argument to that would be is I think the Minute, if I were to give Minute to my stepfather, for instance, who has played a couple games, he's played Mario and stuff, and the fact that he kept dying every minute, he would throw it across the room. I think he'd be like, "What? This is dumb. Like, I don't have time to do anything." But and he wouldn't care. Whereas the Messenger, it's enough like other games that he'd be like, "Okay, like I'm a ninja, sweet."
But what other games though? Like the gameplay wise, is not
any
like
side scroller.
But again, like you'd have to have played a side scroller.
But the chances are you've played a side scroller. Like if you played a video game,
I don't know if that's true anymore.
Oh, a runner is technically a side scroller, like
technically, but I don't. I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know if that's true anymore. Like I've like these young kids out here. Like my niece is 8, 9. She just turned 8. Yeah, she turned 8. She likes her Switch.
I'm speaking more to like because basically your argument for Minute was.
I think it has a wider appeal.
Right. I think it's completely the opposite. And I think that's 100% because of the minute time limit. Okay.
All right. You got that. Well, that's if that's how you feel, then you got that. Because I feel like Minute just has way less. Because also with the Messenger is if you go into the Messenger and you haven't played those games that it's like watching a TV show, a stand-up comedy that constantly references one thing, and you've never played or watched that one thing. You're out the loop of every joke, and then you're only playing a really old side scroller.
I don't disagree with that.
But now that I think about, now that I say that out loud, these pixelated side scrollers are basically back in now. So, or action games rather, are back in now. So I will actually concede. Minute falls out. Yeah. Messenger again.
The only reason that I would say that is because like I talked to Chris, who has the Messenger on Switch, and I guess this is a small spoiler alert for the Messenger or whatever. But when it flipped to 16-bit. He had no clue. Like he was like, "Oh, I thought the art just changed," and I was like mortified. Like I was like, "What do you mean you didn't understand?" But he still finished it though. Like,
I mean, yeah, but finishing it and enjoying it and like getting it.
He did. Yeah, he did. He enjoyed it. Like he genuinely liked that game, even though he missed like the nostalgia trip that you and I had of just like holy crap! Like they made 2 different art styles, 2 different versions of me. Like the work that went into this was insane. Like we were super excited about that stuff. Completely went over his head, and he still liked the game.
Okay, That's a testament to it. If Chris likes it, has to be good.
Yeah, sure. He also likes Final Fantasy 13. That's a story.
Oh, he's the guy.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I thought it was you for the longest. Like I'm like, no, he hates it. Like who?
No, I don't hate it, but I definitely am in that party of just like that's a bad game. Like, that's definitely a bad game.
It's still It's still my go-to joke of, yeah, well, let the game open up and turns good. Like Final Fantasy 13.
All right, so that leaves us with Yoku's Island Express, Outer Worlds, The Messenger. What am I forgetting?
You think if Halo Wars?
Halo Wars 2. Yes, I was like, I know I'm missing one. So we got to eliminate one game off of this list.
So, The Outer Worlds, The Messenger, Halo Wars 2, and Yoku's Island Express.
I don't think there's any way that Yoku's Island Express is not on this list.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, spoiler alert, is Game of the Year. Like,
there's a very good chance. Yeah, there's a very good chance that's going to be our pick. So that game is definitely staying. So we need to cut Outer Worlds, Halo Wars 2, or The Messenger. But now, I don't know, man. I don't think Outer Worlds just hangs. I just don't.
Absolutely wrong.
So what you said, that what's funny is that's our most popular episode.
Well, it's also the newest game too.
Right. True. Yeah. So where that comes from. So you said something to me that really, I don't want to say set me off, but like triggered me, was you were like, this is the game that Bethesda Fallout fans have been waiting for 10 years. And I'm like, you're right. Right. And you're right. But that's the biggest problem with this game, is that I feel like it's 10 years old.
See. Like, yeah, go ahead.
The way, I think it's a very good attempt at making one of these games. I think the writing is very good, but once you start, the more I played that game, the more I cared less. And it was because of the skill trees. It was because whenever I leveled up, they did the thing where like every other level you got a perk or whatever it was called. I didn't care about any of those perks. Like, all I cared about was the skill points. And I didn't really care about any of the story except my companion quests. And the more I played that game, I think it's front loaded in that you see all of the coolest stuff at the beginning. And then the second half is just kind of there.
I'll agree with that in the sense that I think we have a similar idea of game progression, where if you start from A, by the time you hit Z, you want to feel, for lack of a better word, more powerful, more godlike, more things happening type of thing.
I at least want to feel like I'm playing the game differently because I've changed. See, which is like that's the Destiny problem with me, is that I level up for 60 hours, but I'm still doing the exact same things. And that's exactly how I felt with Outer Worlds. Like, I was making the numbers go up on my weapons. I was tweaking everything. Didn't really matter.
See, I was definitely in it for more of the adventure aspect of it. For me, the gameplay didn't come from shooting the guns. It came from experiencing the story and the characters. I felt like for the first time in a long time, not just in the Fallout category of games, but in games in general, it's been a while since I got a companion character that I actually gave a crap about. And I think that says a lot. It's been a while since I did side quests that I actually care about, and that says a lot. I think that's one of the things that people enjoyed about The Witcher 3 so much, is that, oh wait, the side quest is actually like meaningful, and it actually, like, not even just towards the character it's about, but it actually wraps back around into the main quest. Like, and the idea that it doesn't really change is also a selling point for me, in the sense that it was kind of like reading a book where it's like, all right, well, it's a page turner, and I'm really just experiencing the world, the characters, and the story, rather than what I wouldn't be opposed to is playing differently. That would have been nice, but I mean, at the same time, like, I'm handling problems in different ways by the end of it as well. So
are you though? Like,
depending on the dialogue and which way you go, yeah.
But to me, what always happened to me is that I would be in a mission, whether it was good or bad. Like that's a different discussion. But so let's say we're doing one of the good companion missions.
Right.
By the end of it, like there was definitely some good ones to where it didn't really matter what my skills were in terms of my options and my choices. But there was definitely times that I was forced down a certain path because my science was a certain level or my whatever was in a certain level. And that takes away a lot of the choice. But then I even tried doing the whole save scumming thing of like doing a choice and then loading up and trying the other choice. And like, to me, it's the reason that I never got into Mass Effect. It was because like your choices matter kind of thing. And I'm like, they don't. Like, let's be honest here.
Right.
Like I understand why you keep marketing that your choices matter, because at the end of the day, like you might see something slightly different than mine. But because of the way this game is structured, I'm just like, my choices really don't matter, because by the end of the game, all it does is give you a 3-minute, you did this and then this happened instead of this. And I was just like, okay, like at the end of the day, my choices don't really matter. And while I enjoyed some of the adventure, I think that those moments were so far and few between that I just didn't. At some point, I wanted the game to end, and it just wouldn't. Like, I just couldn't get to. Yeah.
That's also a selling point for me, though. Like that you wanted the game to end. Like, it doesn't last nearly as long as the rest of these type of games. Like, I feel like the story is concisely told. It's like, hey, here it is. Here's the middle. Here's the beginning. Here's the end, and we're done. I'm like, all right, release some DLC and I'll play some more. And it left me wanting more. Whereas, if you don't mind, let's transition over to Halo Wars 2. As a fan of these type of games, this being like, so let's compare you just to the games on Game Pass. It's the best RTS on Game Pass, like by far.
No.
Is it not?
No, Age of Empires 2, I think would take that.
Oh, I keep forgetting that's on there. That was on there like what, maybe like a month ago?
Yeah.
That's right.
Pillars of Eternity is not an RTS, but
it's not.
Yeah, anyways, but
all right, so I get it. So to keep it onto this platform, I get how it is for this platform. However, if you're going into an RTS, you're not going into an RTS blind. You know what an RTS is. You're most like an RTS fan. This is not really the one. And the Halo aesthetic of it doesn't add a whole lot, or if anything. The idea of the whole idea of Halo is Master Chief. Like, let's be honest. Imagine, like, that's what you play Halo for. Like, that's who we care about. When you play this Halo game, you have a pretty bare bones RTS, which isn't bad. It does what it needs to do well enough, but it's just a well enough RTS with a Halo aesthetic that adds nothing to it. Like we say, like, the Outer Worlds story isn't that great or brand new. However, the Halo Wars story is a freaking bore. Like, it's a chore of military jargon of it was just sit rep. We need backup on the 6th front in the get in the trenches. It's like, no one cares. Like, I don't know who I'm playing as. Like, none of this matters.
Let's see here. I will agree with some of that. So what I will say is, like, I don't think that Halo Wars 2 is by any means a 10 out of 10. I think it definitely has issues, but the reason that I would take it over the Outer Worlds is basically for the reasons that you just said, but maybe kind of up. So while I think the core RTS factor of it is a little bit on the light side in terms of enemy units, combinations, etc. I think where it really clicked for me was the leader powers. And the leader powers are a very unique addition to the RTS formula of having this leader that can drastically change how you're building and change the end game of a match depending on how it's going kind of thing. Like these leader powers can really make a difference. And there's like 15 of them. So I think there's a lot of depth that can go there. I don't think it's easy to find. I think it's hard to really see that. But I got a lot of gameplay out of that. But I will also say in defense of the game is that while the story is not great, I think it's a huge step up over the first one, and that I think it embraces more of it knows what it is kind of thing. And it's more of a action popcorn story with some really cool looking cutscenes and then some pretty good RTS stuff in between. Whereas the first game tried to be basically that of just like, we want to be serious. We want to tell a story in this universe that's like, you want to care about Halo. And like you said, it's like, no, I care about the dude with the helmet. Like, I want to see him do some cool stuff. And the second one, I think, fully embraced that. I shouldn't say fully embraced that. It embraced it more, but I still think there's issues. So the reason that I say that I would take it over the Outer Wilds is because while I agree that the Outer Wilds had very good side quests, I don't think the main quest was that compelling at all. And
I'll argue as a Halo, if you're a Halo fan, you're not playing this for the story, so you get nothing out of it. Then if you're an RTS fan, you've played better, you're hoping for more, and you're going to have to, in order to get like matches and stuff, you're going to, like, let's be honest, you're going to have to call up a friend and be like, hey, let's get some matches going.
I don't agree with that.
On a consistent basis, I think you are. Like,
no, I don't think, no.
Like you're gonna be playing with a similar group of people each time. Like this is not a vibrant online service at this point.
I mean, I'm just doing this to play devil's advocate. I'm gonna load it up right now and see what happens.
Let's do it.
All right. Halo Wars 2. Here we go.
And while you're looking that up, to compare that to the Outer Worlds, if you're a fan of that genre, you're going to get a kick out of it completely. Like, it's not even a question. Like, if you've been waiting for this game, you got this game. Like, it's like a Shenmue 3 factor of this is what I wanted, this is what I got, perfect. Whereas even though the game's not perfect, whereas Halo Wars 2 is like, if you want in there for a Halo experience, you don't get that. If you're going in there for a great RTS experience, you're gonna have some fun, but you don't get the great RTS experience.
See, but that's, I look at both of these games. I don't think either one nails its core.
I disagree.
The skill tree in Outer Worlds is pitiful.
It is
pitiful.
But
like, that's the core of the game. Like, the core of the game is supposed to be you're building a character.
That's not the core.
Yeah, because you are building a character and you play that game the same exact way you started it.
Oh, wait, you mean this? Okay, I mean the skill tree as opposed to the perk powers. Got you. Okay, the skill tree is the skill tree. Like, it's basically if you want to win the day by strength or by wit.
Well, I mean both of them. I think they both suck.
That's fair. That's
the core of the game. Like, if I'm playing an RPG and I'm playing the game the exact same way that I'm playing it when I first start, like, you don't get any powers. You don't get, like, you can slow down time, which is like their what's what I'm looking
VATS?
for. Yeah, basically, like it's their answer to VATS, which I think is a good what's what I'm looking for.
Alternative?
Not compromise, but whatever it is. All right, hang on. As I'm here. So I'm going to try to find the one that has the most players possible and see if I can find a game. So rank 3x3 war. Let's try it out. I think that the core of that game, like, since your character doesn't really change, like, at all, like, you don't get any different powers. Most of those perks end up being like, carry 20% more.
Here's the thing. I'm not disagreeing with you on your issues with the game. My argument specifically is for fans for people who buy this service, who want to play a certain game type, Outer Worlds scratches that itch fully. For Halo Wars 2, however, I do not believe that's the case. I do not believe if you're scratching and itching for an RTS and you get this service, Halo Wars 2 is going to make you go, yes, I got it. It's like, no, it's going to be like, yeah, this is all right. The leader powers are cool. I mean, I personally rather not have those late game, honestly, because they change the side so much.
Just to cut you off, I found 6 players right now. So people are playing this game still.
6 players? Like, what does that mean?
Like, I found a full team.
Oh, okay, great.
So it took 45 seconds, but I found a full team. But just for
right. So people are playing it. Right. But again, it's like if you're going into the service, I do not think Halo Wars 2 scratches the itch of an RTS player like Outer Worlds scratches the itch of that Fallout player. I think I think it blows it out the water, and just in terms of that aspect alone.
I just don't.
Because I agree with you. It's not a perfect game, and like it falls into the same trappings of those games. However, at the end of the day, like if you meet someone, if you have 2 people in your life, one wants to play an RTS, one wants to play a Fallout game, and you tell them I have this service, like you the guy who wants to play Fallout is going to have a way better time than guy who's just played StarCraft and everything else up to that point. Just like, really? I don't even like Halo though.
I just don't. The fact that it's also on console, I think, is a huge win for it, and it works well on console. Like, that still kind of blows my mind.
It's supposed to. Like that's
like that's fair. Like that could be used as a slight or a good thing for it. But
right.
I see, because what I'm thinking is like I'm thinking back to even like same games. This is like you said, it's basically a Fallout game, right? But not the post-apocalyptic. Instead, it's got more, worlds and stuff in it, which I think is a positive. I think it's better in Fallout in that way. But I still like. I'm thinking of Fallout 3 and more Fallout New Vegas. I did not like Fallout 4 basically for the same reason, was that the skill trees and stuff just didn't. I felt like after 6 hours I was playing the game the same exact way. Whereas in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, while the skill tree in it wasn't exactly dynamic, and it's not like a Mass Effect skill tree where I'm actually getting new abilities, it actually changed how I was able to play the game. Whether I was carrying more stuff, whether I was crafting better materials, whatever it was. Whereas in the Outer Worlds, after I had seen Monarch and I saw the first planet and I looked at the skill tree, like the only thing that was changing was whether or not I had this dialogue option available, because I was pumping points into hacking or whatever, and I was able to carry more shit.
Again, like, you're not wrong.
Right, but hang on. Whereas I argue against you in Halo Wars that, yeah, like if you're an RTS aficionado, or if you were to come to me and say, hey, I want to play an RTS game on Game Pass, like what would you recommend? I think that if I were to say go play Halo Wars, the fact that it has a slow on ramp, but it has a deeper I think you can go deeper into Halo Wars. I think it's hard to do, but the fact that it's there and you can do different things in the campaign as well as the leaders, the fact that you can have different leaders as well as different factions, I think plays much more true to someone that's looking for an RTS than someone that's playing a RPG that doesn't have any skill depth.
I'm going to. All right, hold on. I'm again going to disagree with you. I'm going based off of kind of the reception of it all. So let's see here. We might do some editing here.
Oh no, this is all live.
Screw it, we'll do it live.
That's what this episode's all about. Don't type in Outer Wilds like I just did.
Yeah, keep doing that. By the way, when you Google Outer Wilds, one of the questions is, what is the point of Outer Wilds?
We'll get there. Don't worry. It's on the docket.
Seems like can't find the information I'm looking for. How many copies did Outer Worlds sell? Do you know?
Oh, it's really hard to say because of Game Pass.
Ah, that's right. It just came out on there.
Yeah. So that's really hard to say. I mean, from what I remember, I think they said they were very happy with it.
Yeah, of course they are.
Outer Worlds, not Wilds. Yeah, the Outer Worlds is a commercial success exceeding expectations.
Because I don't know. I just don't remember.
I mean, Halo Wars 2 had a very timid response because of the bugs.
I mean, for whatever reason, it's just a matter of, like, I remember the game. I remember it being announced. I remember it coming out, and I remember it not setting the world on fire, and I remember it not being game of the year to contender. Whereas,
yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Whereas when Outer Worlds comes out, and it literally is like, yay, we got it. It's like these kids are having celebrations in the streets because they finally get a Fallout game, and then it's game of the year contender pretty much everywhere.
And it's also a very, very weak year in my opinion.
But then on top of that, it's getting a guaranteed sequel. They're getting more stuff to do. We still haven't seen a Halo Wars 3 because obvious reasons.
But it is a sequel though, so I mean, obviously they felt something about it. But I mean, you also look at
we haven't gotten a third one yet either. So I'm like, I don't think Halo Wars 2 is to what do you call it? RTS fans as Outer Worlds is to RPG fans. And I hesitate saying RPG fans because these Fallout games like that, they're barely RPGs.
I think of another game on this list that we already talked about, Gears 5. Like, that is very much how I feel about this game, and it's just that, like, what if this game had the name Fallout Worlds on it? I think people would have been much more critical.
I think it would have sold more.
Yeah, but it would have been, people would have been way more critical on it because, like, this is still Fallout. Like, it's the Fallout 4 argument of this is the same fucking game, like, just new stuff. And this is the same exact game as that, but it doesn't say Fallout on it. It says Outer Worlds. And I will 100% admit the change of scenery is a big part of that because Fallout is obviously it's post-apocalyptic. It has a very style that it's supposed to have. But
if
this was a Fallout game, people would, I think, have been more critical of its flaws, but because it wasn't from the Fallout development team and it worked, which is a big thing for Obsidian as well as Fallout games. Like, I cannot, fault that, but
that's the thing. No, this came out as a Fallout game and it worked and it didn't have any microtransactions and this was just it. It would have gotten a better reception probably.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, Fallout 4 didn't have microtransactions.
Fallout 4 also got good receptions.
I don't know if that's true.
I'm pretty sure, like by the press when it first came out. I'm pretty
sure like it got about the same. It got around the 8s, and the number one criticism being it's more Fallout.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we both, when it came out, we were both kind of like really people like this game this much, especially like the IGNs and stuff. They like this game this much, where it's like not even that good.
Yeah. So I mean,
that said, if this, to your argument, if this had Fallout name on it and it was made by Bethesda, this would have been the new king for Bethesda until the next Skyrim comes out.
I don't think it would have. Like,
I definitely think it would have, like, because number one, it works, like you said. Like, they're not used to shit working. They're not used to things working.
Yeah,
Time called
work
that.
done. Yeah. I just don't know. Man.
And then then so far the sales have quote again, like I don't like Microsoft quotes, but outperform expectations. Like that's.
I mean that was a Take-Two quote, because it still came out on PS4 and PC. So
it's like so it's just a matter of like just overall reception, overall just kind of like
we don't know what their expectations were. Obviously they were probably pretty low. But to compare that to the time Halo Wars 2 came out, where I heard people were playing it, and it was just like, yes, it's good, it's fine, it wasn't setting the world ablaze like our worlds did. Like, I don't think I subscribe to the theory that the Fallout fan has more fun, and it's way more accessible and widespread than Outer Worlds is, speaking of, than Halo Wars 2. Like, it's just like Halo Wars 2 is the I mean, like, because neither game for its genre blows the doors off the roof. Like, they both play well within the rules of that genre, and I just don't think Halo Wars 2 does enough for the uppity RTS fan. Because let's be honest. You like if someone into either or kind of, if a more malleable gamer says I'm getting Game Pass for this month, what game am I going to play first? Like, they're going to play Outer Worlds first. Like, and they're probably going to play it longer. I mean,
but I'm sorry, by longer I mean they're probably going to finish it earlier. They're going to probably go right through that story, cut it, and be done with it. Like yeah, this is what I wanted. This is what I got.
But see, like, I agree with you on that only because of the genre is more popular. Like, but where Halo Wars 2, the fact that you can play it on a controller, I think is perfect for that person that you just described. Like, I couldn't recommend them StarCraft because they're going to get their ass handed to them. Like,
but that's the thing, though. Like, if you're playing to that point, that person, if they care at all about Halo Wars 2, they've already played StarCraft.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like,
who jumps into Halo Wars 2? Like, that's no one's first RTS. It can't be someone. Well, no, it obviously is someone's first RTS, but
because the original was like
right. You're right. So it's crazy. Halo Wars 2 is not your first foray, most likely. So it's like, you've played these games before, and it's like, this is not, in terms of the games on this service, if you want to go with the RTS or the action adventure game, I'm going with the action adventure game that's currently Game of the Year nominee, as opposed to Halo Wars 2, which is never a Game of the Year. It was never Game of the Year nominee. It has a very niche group of fans, and it does what it does. Okay.
I think I'm going to concede, but for the only reason is that when the game came out, I definitely did put it down and had to come back to it, but that was because of the bugs. And I personally just wonder, like, if the bugs wouldn't have been there, I don't know if I think I still might have put it down right away, because it didn't grab me the way I wanted it to first time, but at that time, I'm curious. I want to remember, like, something else came out around that time that grabbed me instead, and I'm just curious what it was. I think it was actually For Honor.
What? In 2017?
Yeah.
For Honor came out then?
Yeah, I really liked For Honor when it first came out. Really, Forbes? Really? You know? Come on. Thank you. I appreciate your full page ad.
That was the game of Neo. That was the year Neo, For Honor, Halo Wars 2, obviously, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, maybe that was it.
That could have been a tough year for them to win a game of the year anyway.
Yeah. Well, because I remember I jumped into For Honor pretty hard, and I bought the like the gold edition or whatever, so I got it 4 days early or whatever, which would have put it like a couple days after For Honor, and then when you do For Honor, straight to Horizon, and then right after that, the Switch came out. So that was kind of why I didn't stick with it. Like too much other stuff that grabbed me hit right away, and then like with the bugs on top of it, where I was just like, I'm gonna come back when it's fixed, kind of thing.
If it mattered more, I'd be more on its side, honestly. But it's just like, even just like, I'm just looking at it as a term, as an RTS fan. I'm not jumping to play it, and then as a Halo, as a guy who liked Halo, it's like, your story doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Like it doesn't add anything to the series.
I disagree with that, but I can see why you say that. But the thing is like, you're not a huge Halo fan.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
it doesn't. Like,
right.
It takes place in the past, right? Well,
no. The second one actually takes place. I don't remember if it's concurrent, but it's around the time of Halo 5. I believe it's a prequel to 5. Yes. The sequel is 100%. It takes place because there's certain things that happen, and I can't remember if it's during Halo 4 or Halo 5 that they happen. But it definitely ties into one of the missions that you're doing in one of those games. I believe it's 5.
Yeah, I'll stop playing the campaign immediately because I just got it. I thought it was before Halo 4 because I'm just like, none of this matters. Like,
yeah, the original Halo Wars was definitely a prequel before everything. But then they like went to cryogenic frozen, but not the point. I guess I can concede on this, but to where I just think that the argument that it does more than Halo Wars for the genre isn't fair.
Oh, I don't mean this. I don't think that was. Well, I mean for the fan of the genre.
Right, that's more what I meant. I don't know if I agree, but that's hard to. I could see why you say that, but at the same time, like, as someone who has played a lot of Halo Wars 2, and I am not the biggest RTS fan, so I cannot speak to people that play StarCraft religiously, but I play a lot of RTSs, and part of that is we don't get a lot of them anymore, which is a huge bummer. But I will concede, but we'll see. We'll see next year. We'll see how next year goes.
I'm just trying to think of what game, like, again, obviously it's personal. It's like, what game? So did you finish Halo Wars 2 the first time around? No, you put it down. The second time around.
The time that we played it was not my second time.
Right.
So when I picked it back up later in 2017, I did finish it.
Gotcha. See, like, I'm just trying to think of the perspective, like, on my end, where it's kind of like, also the fact that when I picked up Outer Worlds, I was able to actually finish it. Halo Wars 2, I got like 3 or 4 missions in, played some online, and I had no And again, just because there's no Master Chief in it, like I just had no real feelings to go back to it. Like, even now, I don't want to go back to it and finish it. If I jump back to it, I'm playing online.
That's fair, but I feel the exact same way about Outer Worlds. Like, I put that game down after about 10 hours because I was just like, I feel like I've seen everything this game has to offer, and I think that the very, very bad difficulty scaling is a huge problem for that game. That game had a weird problem for me where either I was getting destroyed or destroying. There didn't seem to be a middle ground. I don't know if I'm the only one. I don't think I am, kind of thing, but I can't really obviously comment or attest to that. I just, to me, like, I don't want to sound like that guy, but to me, it's disappointing that this game is like being nominated for Game of the Year and stuff, because I fundamentally believe that a game like this should change as I'm playing it, and that just didn't happen. Like, if you want to make a game that's all about the adventure, The Outer Worlds isn't the way to do it. That's not how I enjoy those games, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense to me, and I even agree with you on that. My argument for bringing that up is just the fact of that is how it's being perceived.
Which is a bummer.
I would actually agree with you in that. Like, I don't feel like just, it's like the argument you have with Halo Wars 2, where you say it works so well on a controller. It's in that camp of, well, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Like, Outer Worlds 2 does what it's supposed to do, and people are praising it for it. It's like, it's not broken. It's not supposed to be broken, guys. Like, you pay full price for a video game, unless you have Game Pass. So it's like, I understand where you're coming from. It's just a matter of best games we've played on Game Pass this year. If we go by those two, just going by, if we have any quote unquote facts or stats, one of them is like currently Game of the Year or nominee. And it's like, I'm going to lean towards that way, most likely, considering they're both good games. That's not to say Halo Wars 2 is not a good game.
I'll concede, but I think I am fighting a losing battle. I'll say it that way. That being said, we have our top three. Yoku's Island Express, Outer Worlds, The Messenger. There is no way in hell Outer Worlds is the best game on this list.
Yoku's Island Express, Outer Worlds,
nope,
and The Messenger.
Nope. Yeah, flip Outer Worlds and The Messenger, and that's your top three.
Yeah. Oh, I know we're going in order. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're not like that. That we said we weren't, but if we were,
Outer Worlds is not it.
No.
Also, The Messenger, although very charming, very, very charming. I'm a big fan of that game. I think everyone should play it. Literally everybody should play it. Yoku's Island Express is just, it's a gem. It's a gem of a video game.
Yeah, I'll go back to what we said, before, because I had heard about this game and I had not played it. I had been wanting to play it because the words that I heard were Metroidvania pinball. And I was like, okay, right. And then I played it. And this was one of those things where, like, I wanted to gush about it so hard, but, like, I knew I couldn't do that because I didn't want to oversell it. So that's when I was just like, go play it. Just go play it. Just whatever you're doing, stop, go play it, kind of thing. And you had the reaction that I wanted. So I was extremely, like, excited about it because it is a Metroidvania pinball game, or a pinball Metroidvania, whatever you want to call it. And it works from top to bottom. It 100% works. And I love the presentation. The music is phenomenal. Like, it's so good. Like,
a lot of these indie games, and the problem I have with a lot of these indie games is that Press and fans love to gush about how the gameplay is so radical, so out there, so brand new, and it's like the lack of combat does not make it gameplay. The idea that you have one cool feature that deals with physics is not groundbreaking gameplay. Like, if you're going to tout that, it needs to be something where I'm just like, whoa, I didn't know you can do that. So like when you say Metroidvania pinball, I'm like, how does that work? And when you hit when I hit the first, I think I texted you when I hit that first late title screen in the game.
Yeah, it was about
like
10 minutes in. Yeah,
I'm like, this is simply amazing. It's pinball, but it's like Metroidvania stuff. It doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't work at all on paper, but in practice, in actuality, it is a pure gem of a gameplay experience. Like, you don't like nothing about this should work. And it baffles me how the games on this list that we've played, they can't get their basic job right. And they took two gameplay styles that could not be more different, smashed them together and created an experience where the music's amazing, the art style's great, the gameplay is phenomenal, and even just the basic plot is just like you can get behind. And it's like, when people speak about indie games doing different things, this is what I hope for, and I'm just completely blown away by it, even so now.
Yeah, it's a game that I still think about it. Like, I've kept it on my Xbox, even though I've completed it, and I'm like, you know what? I want to play that game again. I haven't done it yet, just because we've been playing other things, and but there's going to be a time when I don't have anything to play, and like I'm kind of feeling it now, because like we've kind of gone through a couple games that we're going to be doing some episode stuff and we're actually kind of ahead for once. And I'm just like, I was playing some stuff last night, and I was like, man, nothing's grabbing me right now. And then like I keep going through my game list, I'm like, there's Yoku's Island Express, and I'm like, I think it might be time. It might be time to. You can
hit the song playing in your head right now.
Yeah, I can, and I just. Game's so good. Like, it's stupid how much I like that game. That game is so good, and I think it is better than Outer Worlds. And
I think by far is the most. I think by far is the best game we played in this list. Like,
yeah. Like I still like The Messenger. To me, is still just a like I really hate it when reviewers, and this happens in movies too and stuff, it's just like a love letter to whatever, a love letter to indie game, or a love letter to 16-bit games, a love letter to Metroid, whatever it is. The Messenger is the only game to where I actually played it, and I was just like, yeah, like whoever made this game, not only did they love Metroidvanias, not only did they love NES and Super NES, but like they truly wanted to make a game in that style and make it their own, and they wanted to do it in a way that was completely unique and truly like showed how much they cared about it. And you can tell that by, they have completely two different art styles, that one harkens to 8-bit, one harkens to 16-bit. But not only did they change up the art style, they changed up the music, and they made a very distinct Sega Genesis soundtrack for this. And like, that's a dedication that you do not see in any other indie game. I've never played any other indie game that I've played and just been like this person really liked this game, they like this genre, and they nailed it. But I've never played one that's been like, okay, not only did this person love it, like this is all they could think about, and they wanted to make this game, and they did it, and they nailed it.
Well, usually it's a case of, I really like that game from 15 years ago, so I'm going to make that game again.
Right.
Full stop. And it's like, no. It's, you have to do something different with it. Like,
right. And
something
what's
new.
And where it's unique is that, yes, like this game does not. We've had other games to where you run and jump, and every jump sort of you can like reset your hitbox and reset your jump and all that. But what's different is the change in art style and the change in from a standard 2D platformer to a Metroidvania. Like, they were able to still make the game, like you said, like they just made that game again, but they were still able to make it their own somehow. Even though they didn't radically change the gameplay, they changed the style of it, and they changed the way that the world works and stuff. Like, to me, that took a lot of, I don't want to say courage, because that's not the right word, but to have that idea and to make it work is extremely impressive. Like, part of me really, like, I still like Yoku's Island Express more, but I think you could make the argument that The Messenger deserves to be on the top of this list. But I still think that the combination of everything in Yoku's Island Express, of merging two genres that didn't really exist before, at least to my knowledge, works so well, I think is the reason it takes this list.
And I got to give credit to a Messenger as well. Those group of people, they have actual, like, good comedic sense.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
the writing is very well. Yes,
I mean, like, there's a lot of there's a lot of games that try to be funny. They try to have quirky characters. Like nowadays, what game developers think is funny or clever is having Nathan Drake in all your video games.
Borderlands 3 is not funny.
It's not.
It's not. Yeah.
I don't think Borderlands has been funny since the first one. And even then, it got grading after about the third claptrap.
6 seconds.
So it's like just this game is actually witty. It's actually clever, and I mean clever, because by the end of the game, it's like you have this moment you're like, oh, so this whole time, so that story you were telling me that was basically about nothing was really could be about something. Like, it all kind of ties together, and they make one cohesive, hilarious game that is a true, as you say, love letter to the genre. So like I'm happy to see that the final two games we have here are two games that push the actual gaming parts of games. Because we played, because to reference another game we played, After Party, I like that game. I understand why other people like that game, but I'm having an issue with indie games where it's like they forget the game part of it, like the gaming part of it, and like these, like Yoku's Express and The Messenger are two indie games that really nail the gaming part of it, and they also bring in the music, the art style, and just the overall feel of it.
Yeah, and I not to, like, I don't know the word that I want to use, but, like, to me it's the best part of this service. Like, The Outer Worlds is a game that many people are playing and did play, and they would have played it without Game Pass. Right. And while Yoku's Island Express and The Messenger did get positive word of mouth, I fully believe that I probably never would have actually played The Messenger if it wasn't for Game Pass. Or if it would have came free with Gold or PlayStation Plus or something, I would have picked it up then. But when in the market and the way it works now, there's just so many indie games that it's just so hard to. There's no one that I know directly that had played it, whereas Yoku's Island Express was the other way around. Like, there's people that I know that played it and really enjoyed it, so that was going to sell it for me, kind of thing. Whereas Messenger didn't. But both of these games is exactly why I absolutely love this service, is because it lets me discover games that either I didn't know about or I knew very little about, and I was able to play it. Whereas The Outer Worlds is a game, like I said, I was interested in it even though it wasn't on Game Pass, kind of thing. I probably would have bought it even though if it wasn't on Game Pass, sort of thing. So but fundamentally, I still think they're better games than Outer Worlds too, or as well. So. Oh yeah,
they absolutely are. Yeah. It goes without question. Again, it's like I'm beating a dead horse, but what gets me about gaming most times is like the game part of it. Like, there's the idea that you took these two genres, put them together, and made Yoku's Island Express. Is like, how's that possible? The fact that you were able to take two different eras of gaming and mash them together seamlessly, like with the messenger, like how is that possible? Like when you have full blown teams of 100+ people working for like Ubisoft and EA, and they can't get Battlefield out the door without bugs and glitches and being coherent. It's like you have these small guys over here just like making these games where it's like truly pushing the genre, truly pushing the medium that they're in. And I'm happy that these are the two games that we ended up with.
Yeah, for sure. So this is going long. I think we've said our piece. So our Game Pass game of the year is Yoku's Island Express, followed by The Messenger and Outer Worlds. Not bad. Not bad for the first 6 months. Not bad at all.
It's been a good half a year for Game Pass.
Yeah, it's been fun. I think there's been some real bad stuff. I think it's safe to say that the worst game that we've played is Apocalypsis. Like that game.
That and Nightcall.
Yeah, like even Nightcall, like I can understand why someone would like it, but Apocalypsis, just from start to finish, I just did not like. But what's the word? For a while there, I was worried that we were getting too many games to play, and then like we had a bunch in a row, like Apocalypse, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Remnant from the Ashes, where we ended up passing on. So like at first I thought we were going to end up just only playing stuff we liked, and that's not in the spirit of the show. But then we had quite a few, like 4 out of 5 we ended up passing on in a row. So, but yeah.
Oh, so what are, really quickly, can we figure out what our total numbers are? Pass or pass on?
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pass and 9. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 9 pass it on, 7 pass on it. So not too bad. Not too bad of a split.
That's a nice. That's a winning Cowboy season. Sadly, very very sadly.
Yeah. Go Tigers! I'll be watching that game on the 14th or whatever it is. But I think that's going to do it. I think it's going to do it for our end of the year recap. Next year, obviously, hopefully, if we're still here, it's going to be much larger. But we already have some games on the docket. First up for next year, we did it. We did the thing. We're going to be doing an episode on Sea of Thieves. Took us a while, but we finally got around to it. We're going to be doing Untitled Goose Game, Overcooked 2, and Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry 5 will probably be first after Sea of Thieves. I'm not sure yet. We'll find out. But so we've already got games on the docket. I will say that with the release of Doom Eternal in March, we will be doing Doom at some point. That's a cheat, though, because we are going to probably recommend that game, but I don't give a damn. And with the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm toying around with the idea of doing Final Fantasy VII, depending on what kind of time we have, etc. We'll see how that goes. But yeah,
that's gonna be a tough one, but okay.
I'm okay. I have finished Final Fantasy VII. I do not remember a fucking thing.
Oh, really?
Bless it. Yeah, I do not remember a thing about that game.
I mean, like, I remember a lot of the things about that game.
I remember the first hour. That's it.
I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy VII. But the only issue, oh man, this might be an off the pod conversation, as I like to call it, coin the phrase. I just don't like going back to RPGs. Like, it
depends on them, because if they are truly
story for me, so I'm like,
yeah.
Once I read the book, it's like, do I want to read it again? Like,
that's where the 3x, 3 times speed, helps me out a ton. Because as much as I love playing Final Fantasy VIII, I can only watch Ifrit and Shiva be summoned so many times before I'm over it, kind of thing. But yeah, so we'll see. But we've already got stuff on the docket for next year. A lot of stuff coming out. And we got Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which will be a day 1 Game Pass game in March, so that'll be fun. As well as Wasteland 3 will be a day one. I think we've come to the conclusion that whenever there's a Microsoft first party game, we are going to do our best to drop whatever we're doing and play that game first, kind of thing. Because Gears Tactics will also be coming out, I believe, in March. So those are the 3 big games, and then we're also going to be doing a Halo series playthrough of the campaigns. Because those are releasing on PC, which are also part of Xbox Game Pass. So there's already plenty of stuff on the docket, and hopefully you will tune in with us and enjoy them. Personally, like if I had to pick a game like I'm looking forward to, it's probably got to be Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I am super looking forward to that game.
Mine, surprisingly enough, is Gears Tactics.
That game, yeah. That speaking of genres that seem like they're made for each other, that seems like a very, very good.
That should be good.
Yeah, that should be really good. So that's April release, it looks like. Actually, I thought it was March, but Ori and the Will of the Wisps is March, and then April is Gears Tactics. So, and I believe that is the first time that is a PC only Game Pass day one release, where Ori and the Will of the Wisps will be on both. Wasteland 3 will also be on both, but Gears Tactics is only slated for PC right now. They said it's going to come to consoles, but they're going to be putting it out on PC first. So, which is strange because Microsoft's thing seems to be lately everything, not just one or the other kind of thing. So, but we will see. How does Wasteland 3 already have reviews when it's not out? Can you explain that one to me, Microsoft? I'd love to know.
Someone got their hands on it.
But there's 16 reviews. like what happened? All right, you can email us at gpopfans@gmail.com. Let us know what some of your favorite games are. If you think we're idiots for saying Yoku's Island Express is the best game on Game Pass we played this year. Maybe you love Halo Wars 2 and you want to tell Basher to STF you. Whatever you want. You can let us know. You can follow us on Twitter, play_tested. Follow us on YouTube, play tested everywhere. Playtest is basically where you can find us. So, all right, I think that's going to do it. You got anything else?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, I guess it's that time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't. I'm still thinking it's November, so I lost.
Wow,
time
you're ways behind.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Time is relative. Time is a construct.
It's also on my side.
Is it, though? That's going to do it for 2019 for Game Pass or Pass. We will see you in 2020, starting with Sea of Thieves.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I ordered the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Score a 2 for $5 deal on a sausage McMuffin with egg and more. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.